It was a draw.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
There you go.
That's constipation. Tommy, just a word on Corey Enright tonight. The guy that played up ahead of you.
He did. Fantastic clubman. He's been a vice-captain of the club, been in the leadership group for 5 or 6 years. 200 games tonight, and he's the kind of guy that really sets the morale of the team. So the boys will live for him, no doubt about that.
So these last-minute instructions, and obviously, I think St Kilda, we know what we're going to get. The question mark hangs over Geelong. Just what can we expect tonight, Lee?
Well, it's all about the future, isn't it? We know about the past. These two sides, remember when they had that really close game early in the finals. The loser got the Collingwood side of the draw, and that happened to be Geelong, and they got put out in preliminary final. But these were clearly the second and third best teams last year. It's just they've been good teams for so long, and Geelong got a lot of players in that 29-30 bracket. You just ask the question, how much longer can they be at this unbelievably elite level that they've produced this last 4 or 5 years?
I did walk into the MCG with Tom Harley, a former premiership captain with Geelong. And Tom, what's the feeling you're getting from the faithful?
Oh, I think the faithful are excited, just as the players are, with the change in the coaching staff. Obviously, Gary Ablett moving on to the Gold Coast. But this is a rivalry between these two clubs that stems back to about 2002. They've had a similar list build, and it's good to see some new young faces in Taylor Hunt, Menzel, Cam Guthrie playing his first game. So a slightly different looking Geelong outfit tonight, along with the different coach.
And they talk about finals making great players. Well, certainly a great player emerged in the finals last year for the Saints, Brendan Goddard. I think from memory, 31 and 29 possessions in the 2 grand finals. His reputation has certainly come on in leaps and bounds, and suddenly many people saying he's the best player in the competition. Well, he's on the big stage tonight, and he gets a chance. The umpires tonight, Chamberlain, Ryan and Pennell.
Just down on the bottom left, the St Kilda forwards. Probably expected Harry Taylor to go straight to Nick Revolt.
That's unusual. Are we thinking that Clint Jones will look at that gamble? First game for St Kilda, and he's got one of the best fullbacks ever to take on in his first game in the new club.
Were they close, Tom?
They were close enough.
Well, they are now. Friday night football underway at the Oval Office. One down by Ottens, upended was Jones, taken by Kelly, kicks down towards half forward, hangs a long time in the air, time enough for Mooney to drop back and take the mark on his chest. As a new coach made a change to his kicking style. We're about to find out.
How many times we've sat here and think he should, if he's kicking the ball from the 50-metre line, he kicks long and hard and through the footy. These sort of half kicks are the ones that sometimes don't go.
Wow. I suppose.
Can you go back, Dennis, and kick from the 50-metre line? Well, doesn't matter if the man on the mark is 30 metres out.
In many ways, an important kick, but it was pointless. There's Gwilt in the back pocket, Bruce.
He is, Dennis, and he kicks the ball up to half-back. See the Camsteray. Selwood didn't take it cleanly with him, Hayes. Little give by Milne was okay. Montagne's quick kick forward.
Top of the arm.
You grabbed him by Nick. You're going to have to come around 5 metres.
So Revolt wins the first little battle against Lonigan and releases Dalsanto, who's within range. He's 55 out, doesn't quite get it back, but the Saints lead it early.
Important start for the skipper, Nick Revolt, I think, although he didn't take the mark but got involved in a contest and won the possession. Obviously a super player, an important player for St Kilda tonight.
Just a couple of matches. It looks like Clint Jones has gone to Steve Johnson. It looks like Corey Enright has gone to Goddard as a couple of specific matchups.
Josh Hunt knocked away by McAvoy from the kick in. Steve Johnson swoops on the ball, taken high by Goddard.
Let him up now, let him up, Brendan.
Spending more time in the midfield during the pre-season, Steve Johnson replacing Gary Ablett.
Man on his own towards the outer side. Well, it doesn't get there. It fell in short, but Corey's got it. Flicks it over the top. Menzel falling to the ground. Gets a hand pass to Varco. Varco nicely done. Measured the kick to Stokes. Stokes would have been better stopping and taking his kick. It was smothered off the boot brilliantly. Zach Dawson,
Out of bounds.
diving across the boot.
Yeah, Stokes out of bounds when he kicked it, wasn't he? So it's a good take by Menzel a moment ago under pressure.
2 arms around his waist, come through.
So the free to Ottens against McAvoy.
Threw it
Rather low-key start, isn't it? Or is it us?
No, it's a
Stevie Mill.
crowd still coming in. It does feel a bit flat. A couple of free kicks.
No, you got
Nothing memorable just yet.
Yeah, that's it.
Can kick a goal, the big guy. Kick 46 in about his second year at the Tigers. And that one's not going to come back, so they're not kicking it too well early. But you are Collingwood, Dennis. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, I was fishing for a compliment, Bruce.
The 2 shots on goals from Geelong so far from Cam Mooney and Brad Ons. Both have had interrupted pre-seasons. Would have loved to have gone back and nailed one with confidence.
Del Santo to himself, not 15. Gilbert steps around Barker, drives it towards the outer side wing. Awkward kick there for Revolt, goes back and takes the mark. Plays on immediately. Hayes through midfield. Wojcinski jumped over, stayed on his feet though, leads back in the race. Gamble pursuing Wojcinski. That's a tough contract. Now Scarlett looks back across the ground, pinpoints it nicely. Bartel, ample time to hunt, can still go with his left foot. Spears the pass in, brilliantly taken by Fisher.
Gee, that was a good mark. Selwood was waiting for it. Not such a good kick out wide to Revolt. Back he goes to Baker.
Play on, play on, play on.
Heard the call. And Baker spears it to Dempster. Now he's got Jones long, but he wasn't confident enough to get it to him, so McAvoy takes it. Now McAvoy on to Jones. He's a left footer, so he's going to have to wheel around a bit.
Just been watching Jason Blake. He might get on the end of this. It's been a searching 140-metre lead. No.
Still playing short. Now Ray tucks it under his arm and off he goes.
Ray down towards half forward then. Awkward half volley. Milne did well. Into the path of Gamble. Open goal square. Revolt is getting back. Runs onto the footy. Upended. Chance now for Duncan. Pushed off it by Del Santo. Across the face of goal. Harry's there. Time to mop up. Well worked. Hunt, Taylor, Enright. Smothered there by Milne. It's gone out of bounds. I thought it touched Milne. He thinks he's playing in the NAB Cup. Well, it would have been against him anyway.
It's only very early days for St Kilda. The 17 kicks and only the 2 hand passes. Last night we saw both Richmond and Carlton kicking the ball more. Might be a trend to keep an eye on.
So Otten's on the up to Selwood. Little give. Actually, Duncan, well done a moment ago against Revolt. He paddles that forward. Dawson's free.
Jack Dawson.
So against the Camster for a push. Clark. His body's going to be important again this year. Can he stand up to the rigours and get more than 10 games in? Well played, Fisher. Ray goes for goal, kicks to full forward. Revolt, not quite. So free kicks.
Come here. No. Just here. Just here. No.
Just attacks the ball so hard in the air, doesn't he? I'm just surprised that Lonergan's on him, not Taylor. Taylor's almost an automatic matchup. Has done well in the past.
Well, there have been two contests, and both times Lonergan's been found wanting.
Plays on and kicks the goal. So the captain gets the first goal on Friday night footy for the season.
Yeah, 2 contests. The first one, Lonergan shot the Revolt's arm. Second one, gone for the body. Expect a change, Lee, perhaps you might roll over.
Were you surprised that they started with Lonergan? I mean, it just seems like Taylor's always been a good matchup for Rewald. I mean, Rewald can take everyone apart every now and again, but Taylor's more than held his own on a number of occasions. Big call to go with what is probably your 3rd tall defender.
Yeah, just see Lonergan there. That's the 2nd free kick he's given away. Perhaps the thinking might be in the corresponding game last year, Harry Taylor chased Nick Revolt round for about 14 kilometres, so they might they might preempt that again, and so just starting with a rotation.
Otten's knocked it down. Del Santo goes with the outside of the boot towards half forward. The Cats have got the footy surrounded. Enright went to ground. Gamble got it out, but straight to Taylor. Joel Corey, fit and running. Enright, the old firm. And now Mackey, still inside the centre square, comes wide to Wojcinski. Given too much room there. It was a perfect kick over the head of Ray. Wojcinski lines up and misses to the near side. Ray just got himself into no man's land there. Mind you, it was a good kick over his head. Wojcinski. Is it my imagination, or does he look a bit like the past coach? Do you think that...
Wojcinski?
Yeah.
Share the same nickname.
Do they?
Bomber.
Oh, okay. Because they look alike?
No.
Oh.
Right there.
Never ask a question you don't know the answer to. There's Armitage. taken down. Corey applied the tackle. Mooney did well. Under pressure, Otten's picked up brilliantly. Varco, clever by Duncan, like him. Gives it across towards Enright. Nice kick. Play on, is that the call? Touched, apparently. Over the top, well, in desperate trouble was Enright. Otten's had a hot potato and just gave it over the man on the mark to Joel Corey.
You mentioned those
right against the boundary line.
Kick handballs, Tom. St Kilda, as you said, 2010. Geelong 11-20. 11 kicks, 20 handballs. So they're still flicking it around.
Gee, brilliant tap. Kelly read it well off Otten's. Wojcinski tried to get it forward, hacked away by Graham. Good one-on-one contest. Mackie and McWalter. In hard was Mooney. Ball still now out. Corey chasing hard. He looks like he's been on Goddard early in this match. Back with Corey. Still a little bit of time to Taylor. Released him on the right side for him. A left footer kicks to full forward. McAvoy couldn't time it. Stevie J. Oh, he talked to that footy and it refused. For the first time in his career to listen.
McAvoy setting up as a loose man for the Saints behind the ball, causing some indecision for Harry Taylor when he delivered the ball into the forward 50.
Typical Saints game so far. They're up by 4 points. Del Santo.
Come out, Stokesy, come out. Thank you.
This crowd is built quickly. A late arriving crowd. Armitage just pops it over the man on the mark. Jones, Montagna runs across half back, miscues with the kick, rebound opportunity. Mooney in short, opportunity for Menzel, needs a kind bounce, twisting, turning, now undecided, kept his head brilliantly. The youngster, no, it was touched apparently. It went to Mackie, his kick didn't carry to Hawkins. Guthrie's got it, he's taken down by McWalter, and we'll have a ball up on the 50. So a series of half chances for the Cats, but nothing came of it.
Yes, it's interesting, the ruck situation. We see the hit-outs there. There's two main ruckmen, Ottens versus McAvoy. I wonder how long they'll just stay on each other.
Well, Ottens won that one, and oh, beautiful give by Del Santo under pressure to Jones. A bit of a skewy kick. Here's Guthrie. So the kid with the famous number 8, the 29 on his back, kicks the ball out on the forward.
The point being, apart from the two main ruckmen, both sides have got backup ruckmen, so theoretically the two main players could go against each other all night.
There's Taylor helping out Lonigan over the back of Revolt.
Yeah, the two backups for Geelong, Hawkins, and for St Kilda, probably Blake.
Might be like a game of poker. Who's the one who actually blinks first and takes their ruckman out of the midfield? Well,
Blake and Hawkins now.
Yep, the two part-timers there.
So Hawkins with a bit of body strength wins that tap. Johnson up deep, as we said, and then Bartel releases Scarlett.
Scarlett through midfield. Not the spot for it, though. Well done by Dawson. Still had to mark it. Fisher just lobs it beyond the wing. Goddard comes on a searching lead. Looks down towards the 50. Then channels it back towards the middle. Graham had to wait. Scarlett didn't. Came strongly. Graham. Revolt wants it long. He's about 15 metres from goal. But the short one dropped by Fisher, who crawls after it. Montagna has it. Measures the kick, goes in short to Goddard. And distance will not be a problem.
That's great news, isn't it?
A lesser player might have blazed away and tried to go from 50. If you watch the replay, just cued the kick at the last minute. Almost looked like it came off the side of the boot, but to see Goddard copying one there from Scarlett.
Graham.
But even
Graham.
had you gone long, the option wasn't bad because Revolt was down there in the square. It was 2 against 1, but in the air, not so important. But the beautiful kick comes from Goddard. He puts it through right over the umpire's head.
I mentioned at the start of the game that Corey looks like he's trying to get the Goddard matchup. The thing is about Goddard, he can pop up at any part of the field, which makes it very hard to get a specific opponent on him.
So the goals to the Saints, Revolt and Goddard. And it doesn't get much better than that from a St Kilda point of view. So the Saints lead it by 10. Cats have had chances. Baker in hard, Montagna well done again. And then Armitage hacks it forward to a one-on-one. And that time Goddard beaten. Terrific effort coming from Corey, Lonigan I should say, and then short from Kelly to Mackie.
Play on.
Mackie measures the kick. Well played by Duncan. He is very impressive. That's Baker to cut it off. It was a terrific mark. And then Hayes, off one step in the end, gets it out wide to Gamble, the former cat. Didn't play a lot of footy there. Had one season where he played over 10 games. Slow kick in, too slow. Johnson did well. Hunt and Mackie got involved. And then Stevie J with a beautiful squeezy one out wide to Bartel.
Love those squeezy ones, Bruce. Bartel across the ground. Bomber. Wojcinski feeds it back, Enright. Nicely done. Kicks inside the forward 50. Working in front, battle of strength. Edged under the football eventually, Joel Corey. It's well worked by Fisher, who gets it back nicely from Gwilt. Short one, Del Santo worked the angle, knocked it to his own advantage, plays on, kicks down towards half forward. Riewoldt is outnumbered, missing the football scarlet. Riewoldt gains about 10 metres and soccers it across the boundary line. Well played by the big man.
Well, about 10 minutes into the first quarter, and I've got to say Geelong are just playing like the Geelong that we've known for years. Bringing the ball back into the centre square, being prepared to run and try and link up with hands.
Hard to teach old cats new tricks, at least in the short term. Taken by Selwood, slips it away. This is Hunt. The other Hunt goes short, and Wojcinski takes the mark. Taylor Hunt.
Short, Wojcinski. Ray almost, and then Guthrie, and then back to Duncan, getting a lot of footy. He debuted on this very ground against Essendon in round 1 last year. Hayes just rode the Stokes. Graham to Jones. Jones had nowhere to go in the end, so back to safety first. Fisher. Del Santo's been good. He's so clean, so consistent, Del Santo. 50. Just couldn't get out of the way there, Duncan. He was off to the interchange and just could not get out of Del Santo's way.
Just ran into that protected area there.
Thank you.
Well, he could go all the way now, Del Santo. Averages in the last couple of years about 2 goals every 3 matches. He's a good kick. He's a long kick. He's 50 metres out. He struck it pretty well and just a little hook. So the big names for the Saints, Del Santo, Goddard, Riewoldt, all prominent early.
Yep. Saints currently up by 11, but if you give them a lead like, say, 20 points in the first term, you're courting disaster. Nice kick comes in. Hunt found Selwood, swings it out wide to Mackie. That appeared to be something they've rehearsed. Towards half forward, coming up is Menzel. Menzel goes looking for Stokes, ran a nice angle, but well done by Baker. Just knocks it out of bounds. He's been doing that a long time. So a throw in just outside the 50. Midway through the term. Otten's fingertips to it, falls behind Bartel to Varco. Varco slips a hand pass away. Taylor Hunt ducked the head, gives it across to the first game of Guthrie. Kicks inside the forward 50. And Jones in front will get the free kick. Clint Jones. What a valuable player he's become. No doubting the free kick.
No, and what a win that was for the Saints.
50 metres. Eye contact.
So a 50-metre penalty again. This for a different reason. That's a long 50. That brings Gilbert right up.
No. He's going to come back. Take the mark on him high.
I'm not going to play soft ones, but if they do, I'll pay it.
You heard the ump. Gee, what an important ball Jones won off Johnson, though. One-on-one in the air. He would have backed Johnson in there. So Gilbert's going to put it up high and hope for Gamble. Big fly at the back. Kelly got down very low. Didn't take the footy. Trying to crash through McWalter. Well done, Scarlett. Otten's lumbered a bit out wide. Gets it to Hunt. He's an emergency 10 times last year, including in all the finals. Mackie didn't play in those finals last year. Johnson coughs it up. Gamble would love a goal against the old firm, wouldn't he? But doesn't quite go all the way. And that's the original Hunt in the back pocket.
Josh Hunt slips. Oh, now it's getting confusing, Bruce.
A couple of clear examples already, Lee, where Geelong are really willing to work the ball through the corridor.
Well, sometimes you've got to do what works for you too, doesn't it? We know that coming through the corridor against some of the defensive pressures of the modern times is really difficult, but if that's what is the way you play your best, sometimes you just got to persist.
Enright gave it back to Josh Hunt from the kickoff line. That's another lovely kick coming out. The same man on the end of it, Selwood. Duncan coming off a very good pre-season, the boy from East Perth. A couple of East Perth players. Joel Corey, 65 metres out, down towards full forward, didn't have the carry. Intended for Mooney. He could have given it more. There was no one behind Mooney, but the kick, he took something off. The mark was taken by Dawson. This is Gilbert running up the ground. Hesitates, comes back to the middle. Taken by Jones. Slips it back to the wing. 50-50 ball. Enright comes up to meet Gilbert, but he's outnumbered Enright. Opportunity for Montagna. Like a basketballer, dribbling it around the outer side. Goes to Ray. Ray to Milne. How often have we seen that? Loves to come on that right boot. Hooks it back across the body. Bounces off the chest of Gamble. Slapped away by Mackie. Selwood gives it to Guthrie.
Good stuff. And Taylor controls it, but doesn't get it far enough. McAvoy, well done. Roved it, got down low. Hayes back, and then Fisher loads up with a high ball. Revolt, nearly. And now Del Santo hooking back again. Through the fingertips, heard the umpire. Geelong have got the numbers.
No chance.
Didn't we see what makes Rewold just so special? The ball was in the air. Any one of 12 players could have gone for it, but he was the one who went for it like he really wanted it. That just running back with the chest mark. Every time the ball in the air, he's at it.
Shades of the SCG right there. Duncan, that was a clever hand pass. Under duress, Selwood, Guthrie on the overlap. Kicks it short of the wing. Hawkins in front, just nudged under it too easily. What a man to move, Hawkins, but Dawson did it with ease. Clark goes short and finds Farron Ray, as always, picking up possessions. He's forward of the wing. Revolt is deep, but generally they come out wide with that kick. Montagna to Graham now. He unloads. High ball. Revolt surrounded. That kick too close to the goal line. He marked it about 5 metres over.
Good signs from Zach Dawson early. Got outmarked by Cam Mooney at the start of the game, but we just see Nick Revolt trademark clearly over the line. But Zach Dawson positioning himself well across half-back at the moment.
They've probably won about 6 contests already in the air, one-on-one, the St Kilda defenders. So Geelong forwards are going to have to get at it a bit better than they have at this early part.
So Scarlett in the back 50 just measures the kick. Corey a target and took a good one. Well, no free kick. I thought he might have got a high one, and then Fisher again. Del Santo again releases Montagna.
Gamble over the top.
Short to Revolt.
Or Revolt short.
Nice work, Tom.
Let's have a look at this kicking action here. We've spoken, we saw it early in the pre-season, getting an exaggerated lean over the foot. Looks pretty cramped and crouched to me, but at least his head's over the footy.
He was pretty accurate in the year that he kicked the 78. Not so accurate last year, but he had the hammy coming back. This would take something, and he's kicked the ball right across the front of the goal. Play on called. Otten's got back, and now Mackie with a bounce, and then trying to buy a bit of time, I think, with a high ball.
Gilbert, one of 2 Saints out there, and the first man to arrive, a third Saint. That's Goddard. Wheels around, kicks back inside the forward 50, knocked down by Hunt. Otten's roving that time, stood up, gave it to Mackie. Mackie's hand pass a little indiscriminate, taken by Hunt, went to ground. His namesake over the football. Revolt did well, pushed it to Armitage, snaps towards goal. Running back is Taylor, and it bounces through for a behind.
Just struggling to penetrate through their front half, Geelong at the moment. McAvoy is sitting back. Gilbert plays that position really well, as does Fisher and Dawson. So probably need to go with an even-numbered forward line if they can, Geelong.
So Taylor to bring it in. Short, well, not short enough as it turned out. Selwood, wonderful courage, and that hurt. That really hurt the tough guy, and he's in trouble. Selwood in trouble.
You got him high, okay?
Wow.
Too high. I went for the ball.
What wonderful courage, but now he's paying the price. And this is not good.
Been reported, okay? We're referring it to the match review. Yeah, we're referring it to the match review panel.
Yeah, you might refer it as the umpires, just but I think both players were going down for the footy. It was a matter of who got the worst contact, which was obviously Selwood.
And Ray turns side on almost, doesn't he?
Well, they're both, the ball's between them. You can't.
Yeah.
That's just a genuine 2 blokes head down going for the footy.
Yeah. Doesn't help Selwood
No,
much.
it doesn't. He got very much the worst of the contact.
Chris Bradshaw, the doctor, there's been around for a long time. He's worked in England successfully in big football clubs there, and at Geelong for a while now, Tom, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He came, I think, 2006, so has a strong relationship with the players, which is really important from a doctor's point of view. Joel Selwood, as we mentioned, he's the captain of the club tonight. Cameron Ling, the nominal captain, sitting in the stands. Huge respect for Joel Selwood as a player.
Oh, yeah. Wonderfully respected, yeah.
Mutual respect from both clubs.
Yeah, what a mighty young player he is. So our thoughts with him at the moment. Let's hope everything turns out all right. Wojcicki's kick and the mark taken by Dempster. So everybody's got to reignite here, don't they? Get going again. Sometimes not so easy to do. Dempster's high ball, revolt. 3 to beat there. Mackie getting up, and then Stokes' quick hands. Gets to Enright. And his 200th. Oh, in trouble there. In fact, giving away a free, I think. Deliberate against Wojcicki. Montagna busy. Revolt. Well, not quite. Enright with enormous courage going back against Revolt. And then Scarlett Gamble. Free kick to Scarlett.
He did what he had to do, Enright, which is keep his eyes on the footy. That's all you can do when you're coming from front on.
And he's not well either, favouring that left arm, although he's got the footy now and he drives it out to Varco. So 5.5 minutes lost in this term. It'll be very long as a result. Johnson wrestled down on the outer side, gets it out, but snared by Lenny Hayes. Steps around Varco, drives back inside the forward 50. Oh, revolt. Well, he dropped it at the last moment, but I think he's going to get a free kick.
I think he might have come down with it, Dennis.
So what's he done here? Has he paid the mark?
Paid the mark, I think. Just
Comes
got it
out.
on the way
Where I
down.
was, looked at Mark, and I've just asked
There
John
we
how he
go.
thought it was as well. So, just see. Yeah, I've got it. Mate.
Oh, I see.
Thanks, mate.
Clever.
Harry, right on it. Nick, he's right on it.
And just for the moment, those first couple of minutes after Joel Selwood came off seem a little surreal,
Yeah, it
don't
does.
they?
Yes, all of a sudden the game doesn't seem quite as important if you know that he's okay.
Revolt, about 10 metres in from the line, tried one from the other side. Well, he's just finding his range at the moment.
So he's had 3 shots on goal.
Let's have a look at this. It's the wobble on the way down, probably. That's the trouble. He's got a fairly high ball drop, and when you've got a high ball drop, it always adds up to being inconsistent the way the ball falls.
So he's 1-1 with a miss in the...
Free kick, Farron Ray.
And the
Smacked his arm.
The one he kicked, he played on from basically the goal square. We've got Ben Graham to talk to us about Nick's kicking style at half-time. Ben, former Cat captain and NFL punter.
A lot of the times with goal kicking, I think it comes down to just genuine DNA and I guess movability through your hips and your biomechanics. Ben Graham had fantastic biomechanics. Nick Revolt looks a little bit tight through the hips.
Jim Ottens went to ground. McAvoy, Varco got it from Scarlett, and then Mackie had to edge it away to Taylor. Taylor's kicked to a bit of space. Duncan overran him. Wojcicki, Montagna. Wojcicki inside to Varco's pace here. All 3 of them. Montagna got the lucky break.
Wojcicki goes back after it. They battle on the wing. That ball's slow to release. And Montagna over the top doesn't help.
Very early stages. We know Gary Ablett left, went to the Gold Coast, can't do anything about that, but all of a sudden the Geelong midfield doesn't look like it's got a lot of movement or pace.
No.
Who can carry the footy? All of a sudden, you're asking the question.
Interchanges, Geelong 26, St.Kilda 24. Jimmy Bartell, just the 4 possessions so far.
Taking out, obviously, Joel Selwood. Paul Chapman was a player who drove the ball a lot through the midfield.
Yeah.
I think people think he's a half-forward flanker. He was in the top 10 for disposals in the competition, so another one of those nippy sort of players through the midfield.
Ruckman lock up, third man up, Del Santo. Johnson loops it over the top. Corey back to Johnson. Can they get a late goal? Well done by Johnson. Fends off Graham. High ball towards the pocket. Missed by Hawkins. Duncan flicks it across to Bartell. Brilliant. Varco under pressure. Snaps and puts it through. So the margin is 13 points. Wasting no time. The Saints bring it in. Wilt, right half back.
So Wilt.
Too far.
So Milburn on now, the sub. Peaks the sub for the Saints. So Taylor Hunt. So a goalless opening term here for the Cats at the moment. Can they conjure one late? Ottens flew high. Goddard to try and fetch it. Down low. Well played. To Armitage. Important year for him. Clever stuff by Corey. Armitage did well. Now he's in trouble. Got it out to Hayes. Hayes dribbles the ball forward. Revolt, good pick-up. He's had a big opening turn. Slow handball, poor handball to Armitage. Well done, Geelong. Comes back to Wojcinski. Fires it in low. Bartel clever. Corey running out of room. Goes back to Taylor and Hawkins. Armitage in hard.
High tackle. Harry Taylor.
You need to relax. It's not down the field. You need to move out 5 metres. The mark is here. Thank you.
So the umpire setting the scene. Last time the Cats was goalless in the opening term, got to go back to round 22, 2003, and that was against the Saints. So it's a long, long stretch.
Has he got a 65-metre kick in him, Tom, Harry Taylor, even at his best?
I'm not so sure. He'll chip it up and give it plenty of height, but I don't think he'll get the distance.
And he wasn't confident, was he? So the Cats go goalless in the opening term here, a term overshadowed obviously by the injury to Joel Selwood. Thinking of him right now, but it's Friday night footy and the Saints lead by 13 at 17-4. Start of the second term on Friday night footy and a free kick.
Free kick. No. Hold. Geelong free kick. Okay, wait.
Get back
Geelong
here.
free kick.
Yeah, we're right.
So
Okay.
Ottens, pretty good opening term, had a good shot at goal and a real chance and fluffed it early. Goddard, just a little fumble. Back to Gwilt, and then Gwilt had to arch a bit and gets it wide. Ray, we know he's been reported in the opening term, out wide, misses the target. Wojcinski's been prominent, tight in the pocket, and across the face, and hit the behind post, so boundary throw in. Right forward pocket. So bottom of the screen there.
Goddard first in.
So Goddard off the mark there, into the centre square illegally, so the free kick to Ottens, and the Saints have to defend immediately. Baker, a little bit of a hat kick out wide, gets it to the 50. Corey punches forward, boundary throw.
There's been a lot of controversy about this substitute rule. This is what the sub's for. Geelong have lost a player, but both sides have now still got 21 players that they can work on and off the field. So the fairness aspect, both sides equal at this point.
Ottens won it down. Kelly. Corey running away from his own goal, hooks it back over his shoulder, deep towards the pocket. Dawson's been good, got a fist on that one. Here's Duncan. Oh, that was clever. Brilliant. Thought his way through it. The aerial route was denied. He bounced it through.
Yeah, really clever work there from Mitch Duncan. He started the game exceptionally well. He's had the 7 possessions. One of the players that Chris Scott will be looking forward to work his way into the side. Just summed up the situation really well, dribbled the ball through, as Dennis said, as opposed to kicking blindly high.
Very important, that first goal, wasn't it? I mean, that just was a bad first quarter for Geelong, but they're only 7 points behind. Just that one goal all of a sudden releases the pressure.
Just summed up the situation really well here. Mitch Duncan could have kicked the ball high and been smothered there by Zach Dawson, but had the awareness in the pack. Just see it there, just dribble it through. Great awareness from a young player.
Oh, it's been good, Duncan. So good news for the Cats, but even better news from Chris Bradshaw, their doctor, as Dal Santo goes forward, tries to spear it. Oh, clever mark. Blake in the front spot. So Joel Selwood is in the rooms, no structural damage, heavily concussed, won't go to hospital at this stage, will remain in the rooms. That's a great result from what we saw a moment
It's
ago.
amazing when heavily concussed seems a good result. That was the fears that we all had for some neck damage, wasn't it?
Yep. So, gee, didn't Blake protect the ball well there? It's a good mark. It's been in the top 10 in the best and fairest of St Kilda for every year that Roscoe Lyon's been there. The last 4. And he's given that a hoof and a little bit of a hook as well in the behind.
Also just saw on the approach, it was just differing styles for goal kicking. Blake there had the head down from the mindset, would have picked a spot behind the goals and just followed the ball in, head down, slightly different to others. Just goes to show how much time and effort's put into goal kicking.
Hunt's been kicking in well. Generally, his preferred target has been Selwood tonight. Up goes Blake, and he thumps it out of bounds. So boundary throw in right on the 50.
Been a valuable player, Blake. He can fill in as a second ruckman. He can play big defence. Got a lot going through.
Hawkins, Bartel, Varco in trouble. Montagna. Scarlett did well. Created some space. Bartel, not his best kick. Socket off the ground after Stokes missed the mark by Wojcinski. Gilbert. Stokes again. Terrific work. Wojcinski, he's been valuable. Kicks inside the forward 50. Ottens is going back with a flight of it. Almost to Dawson. Stumbling over him was Ottens. Ottens hard against the line. Comes back to Johnson. Johnson 55 metres out. Ambitious. Throws it on the left boot. It floats down towards full forward. In front Mooney. Outnumbered. Gilbert comes in across the face of the pack and knocks it out of bounds.
It's been the challenge for Geelong tonight, drifting the ball forward and actually getting a one-on-one contest or a two-on-two contest. St Kilda probably the best at getting that third man up and around the marking contest.
So Ottens lays it down to Bartel. Jimmy can't quite crash through. Still not. Just thinking about last night, that punt rode in. I don't think there was a goal scored in the second half down there. They haven't had one so far tonight either in the second term. It's the Bermuda Triangle at the moment. Goddard to Hayes. It's been hard being a Saints supporter at times because I feel like they sit on 1 and 2 goal leads forever, don't they?
Yeah.
Revolt, Lonigan, Goddard down low, well done to Hayes, and then Hayes. Now McWalter was going to leave it for Ray and then had to go for it. Taylor Hunt held him up. Little hands by Corey, good. Hawkins, lovely kick inside the centre square. Wojcinski's been good, Varco's got it. And the Cats could be within a couple of points here. Varco's got Guthrie, or rather Taylor Hunt running, and he says no. Well, Tom, you know everything that happens at Geelong. Can he go all the way?
He's going to be kicking from about 52, 53. Very neat kick, Travis Varco. Not convinced about the distance. More than a 50% chance, though.
When we stop asking you, you know that you've lost that real contact. So here goes Varco. Keeps it low, trying to get it back. It won't quite get there, Ottens. Baker has to go hard. Gwilt, well played.
Terrific use of the body. Wilt comes away, drives it towards the wing. Mackie lurking behind the pack, just on the ground, not required. Terrific mark by Taylor. Gives it across to Taylor Hunt. And passes to Joel Corey. 75 metres out, the short one. The mark is taken by Mooney. And just for the moment, despite what's happened to their acting captain tonight, Geelong enjoying their best period of the match. Mooney takes something off the kick. Gee whiz. Back goes Johnson, who's being held. Well, that's a good result in the circumstances. I thought for a moment he was going to turn around and get poleaxed by Goddard. It goes against Dempster.
Go back on your line, please. Go back. No, Steve. No. Haven't lined it up,
That's no good.
5 metres, please. 2 more metres.
They need to get that odd free kick in close because St Kilda defend that back 50 so well. All the shots are out around the 50-metre line.
1 more metre.
Just overplayed it, grabbed his arm.
Nick.
So Johnson,
1 metre. Thank you.
about 20 metres out.
Yeah, Nick.
Pretty sharp
Back with
angle,
Ray.
but
Back with Nick.
this
Thank
shouldn't
you.
test him.
Thank you.
He's a mercurial type.
Change the set. No, it's
Steve Johnson, coming off those 63 last season. And he hits the post.
We've missed a few, haven't they, the Cats? So Goddard. Such a long kick, so the little one to himself, and then the long bomb looking for McAvoy. Again, he rode well there, McAvoy. Ray got it onto his boot eventually. McWalter's got space here, looks up and then uses the run. Gamble, important kick now. Revolt waits for the bounce. Lonigan did okay. Back to Hunt. Hunt was too strong there. He held off Gamble. Guthrie got it back and then just indecisive in the end. Scarlett maybe making it difficult for him. Back to Guthrie, back to Hawkins, back to Scarlett. A safety first kick in the end. Just wanted to get as far as he can. And Fisher comes across and takes a comfortable mark.
Need to get a better result out of that one, Geelong. The The blind kick to the middle of the ground. Sam Fisher setting up like that all day. James Gould also and Jason Blake.
McWalter goes down towards right half forward. McAvoy, big responsibility resting with him, certainly in the early going this season. And McWalter has started pretty well tonight. Very good 2 seasons ago. Had a great year last year. Here's Milburn, the sub on the ground. Duncan slips it away to Varco, to Mackie. Stokes. Enright just lobs it, showed a lot of it to Dawson, slams it with a fist to Revolt, taken by Milne, vacant goal square. Running back is Milburn, gets away from him and goes out of bounds, so a boundary throw in. Hey Tom, the forgotten soldier, there he is. I guess he qualifies as the St Kilda schoolboy. Throw it in the pocket, falls in front. Armitage, well done. Milne will kick this. Through for a behind.
Been really impressed with Zach Dawson's game so far. Started the first contest, was outmarked by Cam Mooney, but since then, it's really, if he's not marking the ball, he's clearing the ball strongly with defensive spoils.
So Lonigan.
That's the back. Here. Here back.
Mooney up on centre wing. He wrote on the Geelong website that his ankle, his hamstring, his knee were all gone at the end of last year. He had nothing to give in the finals.
Red Otters. Shepherd.
Oh, gee, so the
Shepherd off the ball.
Cats are getting some frees here. And in the right spot. Ottens kicks to a contest. They're all Saints in the end. Hawkins did well. Held up. Mackie, can he get enough on it? No. Dempster got rid of Bartel. Kept his eyes on it. Ray has to keep his head too. It's a good pick by Ray. Had nowhere much to go. And then Milne just sort of knees it over the line for a boundary throw in. So this is the free kick against Dawson.
For the Shepherd. So they need to change the bottom of the screen there. And, a little low by normal stands of maybe 100, 120 per game.
Mackie, desperate trouble. Ottens goes low, wins the football too. Tries to go back to Johnson. Didn't get it through a number of legs. It stays in there.
Doesn't this game have a look of goals are going to come from a bit of inspiration, individual inspiration, or a bit of good luck? Both defensive systems are really on top.
Saints led it by 8 points. Big jump from McAvoy, almost stolen by Bartel. Out of there by Jones to the outer side. They've got 2-on-1. Milne a fumble, missed by Milburn. Milne, Armitage runs the outer side, kicks it over the head of everybody. Going back is Scarlett. Well, that wasn't the best spot for it. Revolt was running back, but about 15 metres inside of Scarlett, who now hand passes to Taylor. Taylor wrong puts Armitage, drives it around the outer side, out of bounds on the fall. That's wasted. They had the numbers, they didn't take advantage.
In short, I reckon if Geelong was your car right now, you'd send it in for the service. Saints probably not going a whole lot better, but Cats struggling at the moment to get any real flow. Let's see if something can ignite here. Corey decides to go bang to Mooney. Dawson and Mooney. It's one out. Mooney's in a good spot. Dribbles it forward. Needs the ball to come back to him now. It doesn't.
Mooney, not exactly Rooney.
It's the most damaging forward 50 entry there by Geelong. It was quick and it was one-on-one. They haven't been able to get that flow through the ground. That's full credit to St Kilda. They just set up structurally better than anyone else. Get their high half-backs pushed up and they create a lot of visual pressure for the Geelong half-forwards bringing the ball forward.
Hayes, Dawson, clever. He's played well, Dawson. Graham sneaks a kick out of there. Not too convincing. Taylor Hunt, they need a goal. They're doing a lot of the attacking. Armitage will get a free kick after Del Santo put the hand pass at his feet. I'll tell you who did well in there too. Raf Clark winning that hard ball initially. Almost made a mess of it. Armitage from half-back comes out wide. Graham takes the mark. Over the top to Hayes. Lenny Hayes coming up for his 12th possession. Taken high. Bit lucky. Varco is bearing down. Hayes to Fisher, who's normally a long kick. Just sets it up inside the forward 50. Revolt attracts the crowd. Comes in front. That's in the back. And the free kick will go to Enright.
Cats fans unhappy twice. Scarlett's quick.
In the back, downfield.
Downfield.
Matty, you've got it. You've got it.
So Varco played on with the advantage, so the Cats lost the advantage in the end. Then Fisher held up.
Right footy.
I think one of the reasons why it's so hard to score, both sides seem to be having a spare man back. They might have Scarlett at one end for Geelong or Gilbert or Fisher at the other end for St Kilda. Very hard to get through players like that.
Just saw a couple of free kicks to the Saints, but both players ducked their heads. We saw Armitage duck, got a lucky free, and then Hayes. Head sacrosanct, but if you're going to duck and get a free kick, it encourages players to get their head down low. And Armitage really, a moment ago, it was Del Santo's bad handball that should have not been rewarded. And in the end, they got the free. Belted away by Fisher. Wojcinski's little give to Varco. And then Varco straightens up, kicks to a hot spot. Johnson tried to make the contest. Mackey was really good there. So was Clark. Missed the target, though. Guthrie. Oh, Gary would have done something like that, but he might have just finished it off. He did well, Guthrie.
Yeah, he's been good in the contest, I think, Cam Guthrie.
He's got those little short, accelerating steps that we sort of appreciate of Gary Ablett.
We'll be talking to Ben Graham at half-time about Nick Revolt's kicking action.
Went to a Super Bowl with the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals. Ray, Fisher, Del Santo drives it down towards half-forward, going back with a flight. Revolt, off hands taken by Milne, kept it going brilliantly. Revolt, untidy hand pass. Enright put his body on the line, but then went to ground. Revolt hand passes to Goddard. Goddard gives it across to Graham. Floating kick down towards full forward. Touch play on. Taken by Scarlett. Didn't look. Oh, well done going back with a flight of it. Knocked down initially by a player who's been pretty impressive tonight, Duncan. But still, weight of numbers tell the story. Back in it comes. Back goes Hunt. Got a fist on it. Knocked it across the line.
Lee hit the nail on the head, both sides just allowing each opposition to have one player behind the ball. Means the game's just going to be played within the arcs.
It's got Matthew Scarlett at one end and say Sam Gilbert or
Sam Fisher
at the other end. They're two very good exponents of that art of blocking space.
So Stokes got it in short from Taylor, and then Mackey, long kick. Baker did well to get in front of Varco. Here's a problem now for Baker. Varco's so quick and so dexterous, beautifully balanced. That was brilliant. Not such a great kick, Stokes. Mackey again. Wojcinski put on the burner. Kicks to full forward. Guthrie. Graham did well. So Wojcinski pushing up the ground again here and putting Graham under pressure. What about Varco on the other side? He was good. Stephen King there, ex-Cat, Saint, and now with Ross Lyons' coaching panel.
Looks after the midfield structures.
We've got Geelong captains everywhere here tonight, haven't we? Ben Graham, Stephen King, Tom, Cameron Ling.
And we've been told that Cameron Ling's actually down in the rooms with Joel Selwood at the moment, so in very good hands.
Here's Raph Clark in the back pocket. Kicks short of the wing. Otten settles in front. Off his fingertips. Fisher, close quarters to Blake. Well worked. A lot of possessions for Del Santo. Goes across the line. Boundary throw-in. So the margin is 8 points. It was 13 at quarter time. Very low scoring affair. Knocked down by Blake. Came back to him. Some holding in there.
Free kick, Stephen Baker, okay? Free kick.
Gee, this is round two, Baker and Johnson.
Yeah.
I think lip reading there. I'm not an expert at it, but he said, I think he hit me first.
I think he... Was that you saying you thought he said that, or did John say, I thought he hit me first?
They've been going at it for about 6 or 7 years now.
There's Baker then.
I guess if you get 12 in round one, you can come back halfway through the season, can't you?
Kick short of half forward. Up goes Blake. Off his hands, fell in front. McWalter lost it. Hawkins in the midst of all of that. And we'll have a ball up about 60 metres out from St Kilda's attacking goal.
To see Johnson and Baker down there. There's a little bit of a skirmish, both players. Not a lot of love lost.
Not many forwards or on-ballers particularly fond of, Stephen. There's Stokes, lays it off to Kelly. Kelly inside the centre square, but again didn't read what was happening down the ground. Drifting back, Dempster took the mark.
To Graham. Now, Clark was going to provide the shepherd, but Graham comes into Hayes. Norm Smith medalist in that opening grand final last year. What a game he and Goddard played for the Saints to resurrect them in the second half, McWalter. He had a bit of a down year last year after a really good 09. 8 goals last year, 22 the year before. That was a big difference. Gamble wide. He's the new chum for the Saints tonight, the ex-Cat. That's a poor kick. Revolt went very early. Lonigan attacked left, right and centre. Montagna trying to win it. Hawkins brought down in the tackle. Enright got a half a handball. Lonigan, Milburn the sub on. Little left foot. He controlled it well, actually. Duncan's been good. Held up okay. Now Goddard. Goddard releases Graham. Graham loads up, goes high. Revolt stands, waits. Hawkins over the back. Jones can't quite get the handle over to Dalsando. Milburn, Johnson in the back half. Back to Milburn, out of play. Right forward pocket.
Have a look at the kicks ratio here. We've got Geelong 84 kicks, St Kilda 99, but it's the handball. Geelong have even had more handballs. So St Kilda kicking it out of pressure. Geelong are trying to run it by hand.
Blake a bit stiff there. Down goes Milne, and that ball is wedged in. Umpire Chamberlain wants it. Revolt is coming off for a break, and he's earned it. That ball has been coming in high for about the last 10 or 15 minutes, almost non-stop. And every time he competes. Falling to the ground, Joel Corey.
Contact, Jimmy Bartell.
Bartell gets a free kick.
Head over the footy, Joe.
They need him to lift. Out of defence, Steve Johnson. Duncan. And now the going gets tough. Beyond Scarlett, that is. Didn't see him. Short one. Wojcinski looks across the ground. That's an intelligent kick. Bartell is pushed up unchecked. He's right on his range. He's 50 out. I don't think he could get the distance.
They're just always on this tantalising 50-metre line. They've got to kick the ball 55 metres, Geelong. St Kilda just don't let you get a kick closer to goal.
If you're playing St Kilda, that could be a tactically rough up and erase that 50-metre line.
Yeah, absolutely.
They get their bearings
They
on
might
that.
get their bearings from that 50-metre line.
I reckon it's got to go. So Bartell, let's see what he can do. Obviously thinks he can go close. Jimmy gives it a ride. That's a beautiful kick just off to the right, trying to work back off hands behind.
So
Well,
scoring.
I think we might get a goal anytime soon. It's
been 44 minutes, Lee, since
just
a
going back
goal.
and forwards.
Saints goal, I should say.
Defence to defence, up and back, up and back.
Well, Ross Lyon talked about scoring more often this year, but he said we're not going to change our defence. So
Well, it's partly inaccuracy, 1-7 to 2-8, but there's been not too many sitters missed.
So it's 18 minutes since a Cat goal and 44 since the Saint goal. In the last couple of years, these two teams have played 3 classics, really, epic matches, and they've all been low scoring. McAvoy front spot, almost, and Gamble tried to tap forward. McAvoy, good skills. Mackie's been good. Dalsanto, Armitage, little give, couldn't quite get it to Dalsanto, boundary throw in.
Yeah, I must always believe in that principle. If you had a lot of long shots, you kick a lot of long behinds.
So Geelong pressing. They've had a fair bit of the ball in the second term for not much reward.
Boundary throw in. Ottens wins it down in front. Del Santo, who's been terrific. Couldn't take it with him that time, but was held a long time. Well, it's going against, I think, Ray and going to Duncan. Clash of the 222s. So a real low-scoring affair, and rightly or wrongly, I'm sure the subs will be blamed for it. It's like we've gone back to the old rotary phone, isn't it? Like,
We'll
not
blame
that
something.
hard.
We'll blame something.
Nothing much has changed.
Play on.
Some of the guff that's been spoken. Short. Here's Scarlett. Drives it down towards half forward. McAvoy from behind. Swooping on the loose ball, Clark. Del Santo again finding space. His partner in crime, Montagna, indecisive. Goddard, who's drifted out of the game in this term. Stolen away by Enright. Well done by Fisher. Fingertips to it. Made it awkward for Wojcinski. He wheels around, smothered. Ricochets across to Goddard. Well worked. Now the looping hand pass, and Ray is away.
Saints with a chance if they can get it on. Now Blake's got it, and McWalter runs hard for him here. He'll get to McWalter at half forward. Montagna's outside of him. Just holds it up. Revolt not there, of course. And that's a terrible kick. Gee, what a waste.
Well, there's pressure, but if you like the spectacular aspects of our game, you're not getting it tonight.
So Enright in the back pocket. 200th game tonight. It's been All-Australian the last 3 years, Enright. Now, only Judd, Sandilands and Ablett can match that, so he's in rare company. They're the only 4 players to have been in the All-Australian team in the last 3 years. Ablett's actually got one up on all of them. The kick by Scarlett, Bartel, Hunt and Gamble. Gamble and Hunt. So Gamble, the ex-Cat, holding up a new Cat.
Holding the ball, both. 2 teammates. You holding the ball. 2 teammates, yours. You 2 teammates were holding it in. Just here.
So there's the explanation. Ray gets the free kick in the end. Not sure where Ray was actually, but he gets the free.
Long run down towards the kickoff line. Well, going back, the mark is taken by Lonergan, but it came off the fingertips of Scarlett in front, called by the umpire. Behind is paid. Bartel's got the footy and 50. There was chaos in the goal square. But umpire Chamberlain, as always, negotiates his way through chaos with stealth and aplomb. Bartel's got the football. Just pops it over to Johnson.
Got a metre, Clinton. Clear, Steve.
That's one of the problems with that quick release. Don't have to wait for the flags to be waved. Sometimes, inadvertently, players from the attacking team are beyond the goal line. Where do they re-enter? Bartel. Hunt. Inside the centre square. Enright. Now they've got 2 loose men inside the forward 50, the Saints. I think perhaps the strategy needs to change for Geelong. They're showing a lot of patience, but maybe just fan up for a few minutes. Lonergan. I know it's old-fashioned. There goes the kick inside the forward 50. One of those spare men just drifts back and takes the mark.
I'm just wondering what's happened to that beautiful game Geelong played for 4 years. A bit like Brazil playing with 5 centre-halves, isn't it?
Yes.
Gwilt's kick wide, Fisher outnumbered, good mark Ottens.
This also proves that 1 kick in the forward 50 is worth about 10 upfield. Because no one can get a kick in the forward 50. For either team at this point.
So Ottens concedes about 55 metres to Hunt. He goes right across the ground to Scarlett. So they're still about 30 metres behind where Ottens was. Then Scarlett, careful, kick to Taylor. So can the Cats get a late goal and really close this match up? Sometimes 8 points at half-time for the Saints is a winning break.
That point you mentioned before, I mean, Geelong and St Kilda the same for them. You've got to kick it to part of the forward line and keep it in there. Now, Geelong have hardly laid a forward tackle. I think 1 tonight or something, and they usually have 10 or 11. St Kilda wouldn't be much better. So you've had both sides, 29, 26 inside 50, almost 60 inside 50 entries for 3 goals.
Boundary throw in. Ottens knocks it forward. Johnson missed it. Jones, Montagna, high ball towards the wing. Over the top, Scarlett knocks it down to his own advantage. And/or Stokes. Hard against the boundary line, Stokes. Back goes Ray. Clock is down to 17 seconds. Duncan looking for Kelly. Well done by Graham. Chopped it off. Thought of half-back. Kicks it up towards the wing. Corey dropped it. Taylor's got it. Corey knew it was hot. Didn't have the football. No free kick. Hayes comes away. Kicks down towards half-forward. We're down to 2 seconds. Revolt. Last chance. Half-time. Wow, look at that. 3 goals. 16 to half-time. 21 plays 13, that's right. This is the 3rd term. Rucks go at it. Ottens taps it down. Hayes goes after it. Johnson was in there. Del Santo, who's been terrific, fell to ground that time through the legs of Hayes.
Doesn't have the footy.
He's going to get a free kick. Well, they were just moving it forward like a wave. Hayes inside the forward 50. Revolt bounced off his chest. Most unusual. Varco to Hunt to Kelly. At close quarters, Scarlett, another possession. Varco came again. Joel Corey goes back to Johnson. Johnson under pressure. Mackey got it on the half volley. Now he's in trouble. Needs to be careful. That ball stays in. He could be holding it. Well, he's a bit lucky. It came out the other side, and he just flicked it back to himself, but umpire Chamberlain was unsighted.
Lee, every time I see Johnson in the back half getting a kick, I think of the 08 grand final when he got all the touches against Hawthorn, but you'd love him at the other end. Had a lot of deep footy. Here he is again. So 15 disposals for Johnson so far. Scarlett with 18. Just dropped out of Hawkins' hands. Gets a second crack here, Hawkins. Handball wide. Corey running onto it. 50 out. Not that well balanced. Dawson and Mooney. It's been a good contest. Mooney won the very first contest of the night. Dawson's been terrific ever since. So the tackle count?
Yeah, one part of the game where St Kilda just been laying more tackles.
So McAvoy and Hawkins. It's been normally Ottens, and Hawkins wins that comfortably. High ball to full forward. Menzel underneath it with Fisher. Goddard's hands good to Gwilt.
Back. Hit the post, mate. Come down and hit the post.
So boundary throwing.
Umpire Ryan making the call. Boundary umpire obscured right behind the post, as you can see, so not his fault. To be thrown in. Cats needing a goal. Otten's clean, but straight down to Ray. Miscues with a kick. It comes out towards right half back. Well done by Enright. Wheels around. Looks back inside the forward 50. Ottens with the fly. Hands to it. Couldn't bring it in. Falling to the ground. Menzel missed the target. Coming up was Gilbert. Well done to Montagna. Once again, Del Santo. Jones right on the defensive 50. Fisher very short. And on the outer side, it's taken by Blake. What a good player he's been. Goddard, a quiet 13 possessions in the first half. Comes to McAvoy up from the back pocket. Just lobs it towards Gilbert. Was a little nonchalant. Coming along was Kelly in the nick of time for the Cats to force the issue, get it on the ground, and they fight a draw.
You'd have to be thinking about actually getting Steve Johnson just as a permanent forward 50 player. He's getting plenty of the footy, but it's actually getting someone who can get a kick within scoring distance, and he's one who can definitely do that.
Ottens and McAvoy. Ottens wins it clearly. Hayes rows it. Here is Johnson in the forward 50. Had it dispossessed, and then Hayes again hacking forward. Just no continuity at the moment for either team.
Yours. No, not yours. Taylor, Harry Taylor.
Over the shoulder it was.
So Nick Revolt thinking it was Blake's free and going for the advantage. So sensible stuff there, no 50. Taylor with that lazy left foot, but he kicks it about 60 metres. Gilbert, Bartell. Tom, you'll just come back after talking to Chris. Yeah, Johnson, that famous 34 possessions against Hawthorn in the back half, though. I mean, what's your take on him?
Look, I like seeing Steve Johnson play sort of inside the forward 50 and occasionally pushing up. Lee's point spot on. He's better off having 20 possessions in the forward half of the ground than, say, 35 all over the ground. So he's their genuine avenue towards goal.
So a bounce. About 35 metres out from Geelong's attacking goal. They trail by 8 points. Still right in this game. Kelly is legged. Well, that was careless.
Took him by the leg.
Hayes went to ground and just grabbed something.
Play on.
Kelly to Johnson. Not sure about that. He won't get the distance. It was touched in any case. Down towards full forward. Touched again. And across the line.
Even that one there, just the handball around the back onto your left foot. It's just stat gathering.
Well, it is. I mean, considering that Kelly was probably going to be able to kick slightly inside the 50-metre line.
Here's Gwilt. Drives it towards the wing. Hawkins in from the side. Couldn't hang on to the mark.
Corey never had the ball.
Joel Corey upended. And the ball was about 5 metres away. So Corey on the wing started well. And currently has 12 possessions. This will be his 13th. Missed a lot of football last season. Goes way back. Lonigan.
It's a good look at what he's got there. Pretty structured St Kilda defensive setup.
Varco runs to the centre circles. Takes it, tried to flick it across to Scarlett. That was ambitious. Will prove costly, I think. Hayes, gamble. Can he hurt his old club? You bet he can. Straight through the middle.
Well, that is an absolute clanger, isn't it? It's the only thing you can say from Travis Barker, who marks the ball in the centre square, but Doesn't take the time and space. I think that's exactly what Chris Scott may be thinking to himself at this point of the game. Can't afford to give a goal away like that.
Just highlights the danger of playing through the corridor.
He had plenty of space in the middle. It's the play on that just gave them a goal away.
Really highlights, I mean, we see Collingwood now play around the arc, play around the boundary, and that's the exact reason why they don't do it. Because when you open yourself up and turn the ball in the corridor, bang, slingshot goal.
Gee, suddenly it looks like a pretty big lead, doesn't it? Varco, except for that's been good tonight. That was a monumental error, I should say. Montagna on hands and knees, gets it to about half forward. Good mark in the front. Taken by Armitage, and he's quickly on and sets it up for Revolt at the back. Chance for Goddard. Corey with him. Corey takes them on.
Opportunity.
Yes, I think the umpire would have actually thought about that. Obviously didn't pay it, but did he actually take on the tackle?
Well, he came back inside, took a step inside.
Yeah, that's off.
Pretty lucky to get away with that one.
Revolt over the top. Kelly got a tap on it. Free kick to Jones.
It's out 5 metres, guys. Right out.
Gee, these free kicks are so important, aren't they? I mean, we've got a 3-goal to 1 game. And he's 35 metres out. He's not a sweet kick. It's an awkward style. But is it straight? No.
Know your players, Bruce.
It's interesting when in a game like this, Geelong, St Kilda are 14 points in front, but that's a small margin. But it's more Geelong thinking we've only kicked 1 goal. That's where the panic comes in.
They double their score in the third quarter. You think that would be a big lead, wouldn't you?
So Bartel drives it straight down the middle. 3 Saints and Ottens. Not the spot. Gilbert comes over the top and takes the mark. Gilbert goes out wide and gives it away. Corey's been pretty good in this term. Grabs the footy, drives it to midfield. Now, they need to hold up here. Mooney's got the ball. Not much to go to. Oh, dear. Baker. Clark goes wide. Goddard's got it. Got the choice of 2 on the other side. McAvoy is the long target, but Goddard doesn't want to go there. Decides to come across the ground. Most clubs would have gone to McAvoy. Not so the Saints. Graham has it. Comes to Hayes. 2 on again. 2 to choose from. Clark this time. Montagna wants the football. Hunt was aware of Montagna, and that's caused the 50.
Exactly what happened there, Dennis. Josh Hunt playing on Lee Montagna, knew he was out to the side and tried to crib as much as he could to cut the angle. Drew the 50-metre penalty.
It's a fine line, isn't it? I thought that one in the middle that Mooney marked. I thought Dawson crabbed the mark a little bit, but got away with it. It's a fine line, isn't it, when they see what happens here.
Just watch it there. Knew that Montagna was out. Just out of screen, bottom right.
6 career goals for this man. In he comes. That's a pretty good effort. Oh, wow, that hurts. Big lead now.
Well, a big goal for Ralph Clark. You know the last time he kicked a goal in any match?
Let's have a look at this one. Now, did Dawson... maybe not. No, maybe he just played it well. Came far forward as he could, but didn't give away the 50.
So Clark's goal, that's the first goal he's kicked since he played against Geelong in the qualifying final in 2008. So he's never kicked more than 1 goal in a game. It's been 3 years since he's kicked 1. Bartel's kicked a full forward, bouncing back. Gilbert has to fetch. Couldn't quite get an effective handball away. Now Gwilt. Still with Gwilt. And the Saints have got some cushion on the scoreboard now. Graham's kicked a half back. Looked like McAvoy held on to, but no free, and Scarlett's been prolific tonight. It's interesting, these top 5 players in the comp, he didn't have any cat in there. Ranked Revolt as the #1 player in the competition, and had Goddard in the top 5, and didn't have Gary Ablett in either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 with his interview with Mike Sheehan today. So 14 to 34.
Wonder had he stayed. Blake knocks it down. Goes after his own ball.
Would have been the same judgment, I reckon.
Do you reckon? Okay.
Both of you said it.
You know him better than me. So a ball up. about 40 metres out from Geelong's attacking goal.
I think he's thinking midfielders a dime a dozen, those big forwards. They're the ones.
Yeah. Ottens. Menzel. Now standing off the pack, Joel Corey down towards full forward. Gilbert dropped the mark, spills out of there. Milburn has to go, did well. Taken to ground. Bartel, a strong tackle on Gilbert. Menzel over the top and will have a ball up. Well, it's not working for Geelong at the moment. Just the one goal midway through the third term, down by 20 points. And St Kilda have racked up about what they normally rack up.
The big problem, though, the most efficient side, Geelong, that is going and scoring once inside 50 last year, running at about 30%. One goal from what are we at now? 32 inside 50 is very inefficient.
33 now. Tom is down low. Johnson, Mackie stole one that was probably for Wojcinski. Then Wojcinski and Gwilt. High ball by Ray to centre wing. Hunt, Mill. Mill came in and crashed and bashed. Milburn gets it from Mackie and then hacks it to Stokes. Clark almost hurt himself.
It's a block against you. You didn't look. No, you didn't look at the ball. Free kick, Rav Clark. Yeah.
So against, you heard the decision against Stokes.
Okay.
Don't think Clark can take it.
Sam Gilbert. Sam, come in. Then take him away. You're going to have to take him away then.
Just see the eyes of Matty Stokes there.
Come back on.
That's the indicator to the umpire straight away.
Not much compassion from the umpire to umpire Ryan. Take him away, take him away.
Look, it didn't say put a screen around him at least.
Bring out your dead. Roddy Piper. There's Graham.
Move it on, play on.
Right half back. Up towards the wing. Blake will fly from behind. Misjudged his leap completely. Roving the pack. Revolt takes it across the boundary line. Well, Geelong have got to try something. I mean, looking up the ground, there's what, 4 St Kilda players, 1 Geelong player, a kick behind. In fact, one of the players manned up with a Geelong player is 2 kicks behind the ball as Gamble takes it.
Need that equal representation in their front half, Dennis, which is what you're alluding to. You'd rather concede a blitz goal going the other way, but at least give yourself an opportunity for an even-numbered contest in your forward 50.
Someone's got to break it up, don't they? There goes the kick from Gilbert. Nice, McWalter. I had a theory. I tried it on Bruce. He passed out. There goes the kick from Dempster down towards the pocket. Revolt launches himself. Couldn't hang on. Clever, though. Controlled it. Taken by Graham. Vacant square. Goal. No, touched. It was touched back at the kick. It wasn't very evident, but it was a low trajectory kick coming out. Here's Taylor.
Apparently, the last time Geelong hadn't scored a set goal till halfway through the third quarter was 2000, and they ended up beating Collingwood at that particular game. Just a little obscure stat we just found.
I know that first half score was the lowest. The only time they've only had 1 goal in the first half since Bomber Thompson's first year in 2000.
Yeah, so I reckon I remember that game. It was bucketing down rain at the MCG, and Adam Houlihan kicked a handful of goals in the last quarter.
Well, it's pretty wet tonight, so I guess that's why.
So there's the touch. Gee,
very different conditions, isn't it?
Harry Taylor, maybe a finger. So the Cats with 1 goal in mind at the moment. That's the way they're playing, and no goals at the punt road end for an eternity. None in the second half last night, none at all tonight. Got a theory on that, Lee?
Well, the way that Geelong are all pushing upfield, that point you made, they've got to actually, they just can't allow St Kilda the extra play. They're good enough one-on-one, but if you give them the extra play, you just can't get scoring shots.
After the bounce, Kelly onto the football. Good evasion. Slippery hand pass. Bartel. Well done by Lenny Hayes. Wrapped up, though. Ball wedged in. Took on the tackler. Now, this is where it gets tricky. St Kilda now with at least 3 spares. Saw the tackle. 4 as a man rushes onto the ground. That's Ray. Gilbert didn't have the football. Now a chance. Mooney is through. Went to ground. Okay, so try this, Tommy. I won't go to Lee because he would scoff. I think I've tried it on him and he may have passed out too. But in this situation, if you skirt around the 50, what say you just leave one forward in, bring all your men out if you can get a set play, and just do the old bomber Rooney like the NRL inside, and all your guys head for the footy.
Well,
That's too basic.
good. I just don't think the St Kilda defenders would allow that to happen, Dennis.
Well,
No, but
if
the
you're
point you're
chipping it
saying,
around,
you've got to actually say, well, listen, we're outnumbered in there. Let's go to an area where we can at least get a lot of our numbers.
Yes.
That's the point you're saying.
just kick it high above one forward and all rush in. At least you're headed towards the goals. Del Santo. I'm going back to the drawing
Can we
board
get
now.
to
That
the
was
coach's box and suggest that, you think?
Don't be silly. They look at my resume. As the ball comes up towards the wing, big leap from behind Revolt. Well, they've got to do something to sort of break this up, because at the moment it's a relentless pattern and it's not good for Geelong. Hawkins,
Gilbert
Corey,
here.
you watch this, they'll kick a goal.
Clever kick from Joel Corey. Sam Gilbert was the player there sitting back and just brought the ball across his body at the last minute.
Yeah, they went to the Geelong player who outnumbered. He was there by himself. That was one against nil, so they outnumbered. That was the point. First time there's been any space there.
They can't keep laughing off the Campsters' misses.
No.
I don't think anyone's laughing. They just don't know how to cure the problem.
Well, remember those shots at the coach's box? It was almost par for the course. He's missed again. Oh, hum.
That was when they were having about 40 shots a game.
That's true.
And of course, even last year, Geelong 16 goals a game was their average, highest in the competition. So it's a big. This is the first time you've seen them just look unable to score for a long time.
An unbelievable score board at the moment. Was that a throw?
St Kilda, throw.
Yours, Brendan. Hey.
Well, just on that about the scoring, the top 10 goal assist players in the competition. Geelong had 5 of them last year. It was Varco, Johnson, Mooney, Burns and Chapman. Mooney's underdone. Burns isn't there. Chapman's not there. So they don't have the same personnel driving. Take out Ablett, who often started that chain, and Johnson now playing further up the ground. So the actual goal sources aren't there, and if they are, they're in different positions. So
Do you
not an
find
excuse by any
that
stretch.
when they're struggling to score, that their forwards tend to want the footy and push up the field trying to get it, and they're used to getting high stats.
That's what we're seeing with Steve Johnson. So perhaps if it's Steve Johnson on Sam Fisher, you've just got to sacrifice the disposal count and keep to a structure in the forward 50.
So Montañez kicks a good one to Ray. I feel like the Saints are probably a goal away from just about having this tonight. Gwilt.
Right there. Mate.
And Gwilt to the pocket. Revolt with a half volley.
You get the feeling too it could be a percentage boost. If they keep them down like this.
Yeah, I got it.
Just exactly. Looking back to last year, 10 of the first 12 matches they played, the Cats, they scored 100 points, but only 6 of the 13 after that. And they had trouble here at the G. They only won 3 of their last 8 at the MCG last year. And we actually had that discussion in round 1 last year, Tom. You felt like the MCG might be a bit of a problem for Geelong last year.
Well, it's a big ground, and the players who really play well in the MCG can break the lines. And I guess one of the queries of Geelong going into the season this year is leg speed through the middle. And Ablett, we've discussed a number of times, being that player who can break the lines. Varco's the other one, so perhaps he's an option to push up, maybe push Varco into the middle and keep Johnson closer to goal.
Big scramble on the outer side. Worked forward by Jones. Del Santo back to Jones. Held a long time by Bartel. Enright, Kelly knocked across the boundary line by Ray. But he doesn't take much chiding, as Josh Kay, our statistician. He tells me currently the percentage are St Kilda 233, Geelong 42. So how about that? Del Santo, Ray. Nicely done by Hayes. Dempster surrounded by Cats, but well done by Hayes. Got wider. Here's Clark, seems to be okay. Goes inside the forward 50. Milne was up. Loose ball at the back, taken across the boundary line by Revolt, and a boundary throw in.
Even that one there for St Kilda, it's wide, probably not the best position, but it's 3-on-3. So you've given the opportunity to play in a one-on-one situation. Geelong need more of that going forward.
So Goddard patched up back on. Hawkins for the Cats. Revolt tries to improvise. Kicks to a hot spot at centre-half forward. Bartel had to search. And Scarlett.
Not continuous.
Scarlett took a chance there. I mean, had to take the risk of getting the free, and he did in the end. So Enright back to Lonergan. Lonergan started on Revolt. Guthrie, the newcomer. Johnson, look away, handball to Guthrie. Then he has to fetch it back, Stevie J. Menzel, Lonigan, Johnson, under pressure. Enright, can he give it quickly? There's no real continuity for the Cats. Now Scarlett, a chance. Taylor Hunt decides to go bang. Good kick. Hawkins has to take it. Dawson, brilliant. Clark, Cats have got numbers suddenly. Can he get it out, Hawkins? He can't. And the Saints hold it up. Ball hasn't come out. Gee, they had their chance.
Just need an extra probably 2 metres on the kick, a bit more penetration from Taylor Hunt over to Tom Hawkins. Zach Dawson's impressed me with his decision-making tonight. Just got the body, turned the body at the right time.
It's improved since he was in New Zealand, obviously, but he's done well tonight.
Down goes Clark. Stokes. McWalter falling to the ground. Hayes, terrific. Comes away from half-back. Beautiful pass, too. Out of the chest of Revolt, the defensive side of the wing. Margin 20 points. More than Geelong had scored. There goes the kick inside the forward 50 from Graham. Need a crummer. Well, wide of the pack. Milne can't get there in time. Hunt, Josh Hunt, pokes it as far as Milburn. Milburn to Josh, or rather Joel Corey. Corey went to Scarlett. And now Hunt again. Taylor Hunt, all the time in the world, takes most of it. Menzel, Kelly. There's no conviction in what they're doing. Menzel hard against the boundary line, kicks it up towards the wing. But look, 2 men going across, both of them Saints, but Bartel wins the one-on-one. Now they're a chance. Duncan feeds it forward to Varco. It needed something inspirational. Bartel provided it. Varco eventually corrals the football, goes in short. Johnson, man on deep as Wojcinski. He goes to the pocket instead and finds Joel Corey, who moments ago was across half-back. That was great hard running.
Right here. That's it, Joel. Listen, Mark.
Wojcinski was deeper than Ottens, and maybe he was the one to get it, but we heard Ross Lyon talking about looking up, getting the eyes up, and both sides very much now just putting the ball short, particularly Geelong, but it ends well, or does it? Yes, it does. Joel Corey gets it over the line.
First goal for about a half a footy, but still 14-point margin. The game is still very much alive in terms of their the deficit, which is always more important than how many goals you've actually kicked. But it does affect your confidence when scoring is so hard.
Just see Joel Corey there coming through. It was half forward. Great gut running. Gwilt trailing him, just running past the scores there. Always been a really fit player and went back and slotted the goal for 45.
Gee, telling goal there. Cats suddenly get the scoreboard going. Ottens to Corey. Started the match on Goddard. He's been good, Corey. Guthrie tried to rove it. Wojcinski. Suddenly they're going to kick 2 in a minute. We've got a game. That's why it's a nerve-wracking experience being a Saints fan. Gee, Corey's been good tonight. He was important there, wasn't he?
Was. And even that quick kick out of the centre bounce, at least the defence can't really get set to work as a structure against you. And Mooney at least made the big contest in the air, which was critical. He read the ball off Corey's boot.
Came from a really quick clearance from Joel Corey, I think it was, in the ball.
And Mooney got to the front, Tom. And we haven't seen that too often from forwards tonight.
And what the quick kick does is it doesn't allow the secure defenders set up into their structure, which they're so well versed at.
Corey having a great term. Hand passes forward. Menzel's over the football. Back it comes to Kelly. Suddenly there's dash. Suddenly they think there's a way through and hope. Johnson takes too long. Advantage is played. Goddard comes away. Goes down towards half forward. Armitage. Oh, what a great... Well, he didn't take the mark. Almost. Came out at the last second. Hayes tries to go back over the shoulder. Was pushed in the back. Well, what about Geelong? 2 goals and 3 kicks there after 1 goal and 144 kicks. Here's Goddard. Long bomb towards full forward. Revolt is outnumbered. Slips behind. Enright's got it. Bit of a fumble. In the end, it helped him.
Got it to Taylor, to Stokes, to Kelly. Caresses the ball forward. Hawkins cut off by Clark. Hawkins maybe into his back. Ball to come out. So an opportunity goes.
I mean, you've got to try that, though. I know every now and again you get turned over in the centre square, but you've got to try and see if you can get the handball on there. So at least failed, but you've got to try and move the footy sometimes through there.
So credit to Clark there. So Graham down low.
In the back against you, Brendan Goddard. You can't just jump in like that. It's yours. Go. Well, that's awesome. Go. You just come in recklessly into the pack.
So bit of a turnover here because the Saints had the footy and now the Cats with the last 2 goals of this match. And it's an 8-point game. Out wide, just lazy old kick. Wojcinski's been terrific. Up the ground tonight, inboard. Scarlett, so much of the ball. Kicks the ball wide to half forward. Mooney goes to ground, but fetches it off, and well done. Stokes running hard. Remember, he missed the first 7 games last year, Stokes. Inboard to Guthrie. Guthrie loads up to full forward. Menzel sets it and takes a beauty. Duncan, I should say. It was a magnificent mark.
Great show of strength. Often it takes 2 or 3 years and a couple of pre-seasons to get that core strength right. Mitch Duncan now coming into that stage in his career and was able to lock down, get his centre of gravity low.
Stephen Baker's a hard opponent.
He is. He's a tough hard play. Got in the drop zone of the ball. Terrific mark.
So Duncan kicks his second goal of the night, and Geelong suddenly within a couple of points.
Big turn up here, as we discussed probably 5 or 10 minutes ago, that 3 goals, it looked like St Kilda had the run of play, and they did have the run of play, but 3 goals is 3 goals at the end of the day if you can get the ball in there and give yourself a chance.
The margin is always the issue, not so much what the score is, how many goals you've kicked, how many goals they've kicked, but what's the deficit? And the deficit, what got out to 20 points, but all of a sudden it's back.
Just see the contest here by Mitch Duncan, really strong through the core. Stephen Baker, a strong player himself with really low centre of gravity, just got to where the drop of the ball was. Been pretty impressive tonight.
Yeah, he has. So the Cats, 3 goals in 4 minutes. Montagna digs it out of the middle, kicks down towards half forward. In front, Scarlett almost the mark, controlled it brilliantly. Comes away, slips a hand pass towards Stokes. Stokes under pressure. Corey again, it was at Enright. Enright got it out wide to Hunt, to Mackie. Mackie forward of the wing, touched off the boot by McAvoy. Guthrie. I can just see Andrew Demetrio turning knowingly to Adrian Anderson saying fatigue as the ball comes down towards full forward off hands and through for a minor score, and the Cats are running.
You mentioned fatigue, Dennis, and it's been a low goal scoring game, so only 8 goals apiece, which means the game is ballistic.
Yep.
So there's not the break and play from
those 30-second breaks to go back to the middle.
Yep.
The other thing is, there's now equal numbers of Geelong forwards and St Kilda defenders, so at least haven't been outnumbered like they had early in the game.
So McQualter's been subbed out and Peake on for the Saints. Now Ray, Montagna, Graham. And that's a terrible kick under pressure.
Well, that's a sub that looks like it's been used for tactical reasons.
Yep.
Try and get a fresh player on the field. St Kilda are now taking the punt. They don't get a bad injury from this point onwards.
It's been in a bit of a bad way for probably the last minute or so. Nick Revolt we're talking about on screen.
He was involved about 5 minutes ago on that heavy knock when 3 St Kilda players went for the 1 mark at a half forward.
He looks done.
Yeah.
And they've just made the substitution.
Yep. With McQualter off and Peake on, and now Revolt does come to the interchange.
He's running like he's got sore ribs or something of that ilk. You know, that you sort of run and you're really sore.
Well, that would have to be a breakdown in communication, wouldn't it? From the medical people and or the coach's box not realising that Revolt was in that situation.
Straight down the race.
Suspect the sub call happened before Revolt was hurt, or before they saw he was hurt.
Before they knew he was hurt, yeah.
I'm not sure it was part of that initial contest a couple of, say, 5 or 6 minutes. Yeah, I think so.
Hawkins on the lead.
So now, because of St Kilda's choice, they're now got 20 versus 21.
And the game is more strategic.
McQualter has got ice on his leg, so he's injured, I reckon, McQualter.
Okay.
I don't think they had a choice. I think he had to come
mandatory, not voluntary.
Okay. Hunt. Enright to midfield. This game is opening up now. Stokes, Goddard stretches, takes the mark.
Kick it in the middle of the zone. You've got to either kick it over the top of the zone, which is where Menzel marked it before, when they went over the top of that zone in between to the goal square. It looks like it's a calf or something.
Travis, thank you.
So here's Peak.
Move it on, Brad. Play on. Play on.
Play on's the call. There's the siren. 3/4 time, so we're set up for a big finish. Out of the blue, Geelong came storming back. 3 kicks resulting in 2 goals after, as I mentioned, 144 kicks for just the 1 goal to that point in the game. And then another. So a point the difference on Friday Night Football, St Kilda with their noses in front. Three-quarter time for the MCG Friday Night Football. Watch up the top there. Revolt came off a couple of minutes before 3/4 time. And as you saw, he ran into a Geelong defender. Can you comment on that, Nick?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot in it then. I just saw right in front of me. Revolt just wasn't ready for the contact, so he was just checked by the Geelong player, so that won't go any further.
That's very interesting you say that, Nick. 4:10:34 to 4:11:35. We don't mention names. We don't dob in, of course, but I think those ribs would be scarlet. Now, can Geelong get back into this, do you think? I mean, it was remarkable, a transformation. As we take a look here, Revolt watching the ball. I'm not sure I'm as charitable as you, Nick Maxwell. That's a long way from the action, and that would have hurt. But they showed a lot of resolve in that third term. Don't laugh. Especially you shouldn't be laughing with those sort of body injuries.
I suppose I'm talking from a defender's point of view, aren't I? When you're talking about the best player in the competition, you need to check him every now and then to stop him.
So what happened in that third quarter that it blew wide open and suddenly the Cats got those back-to-back goals and then added another?
Look, it was the last few minutes. Obviously, Geelong can score very quickly, and they really struggled in those first, I guess, 2 and 3 quarters of the game. But they really got a couple late there and got themselves back in it.
And a bit happening between this pair now, Scarlett and Revolt. And Revolt sought him out and went and had a word and then a bit of contact, but they move on with all of that. And Geelong find themselves in a position where they can win this game against all the odds. We mentioned the percentages in the third term. Well, they've changed considerably. Thanks, Nick. Here's Bruce.
Good on you, Dan. Start of the final term on Friday Night Footy, and these two combatants, they've been going at each other for about 8 years, and there's a point the difference. Jones, Cats have kicked 1 goal until over halfway through the third term and kicked 3 in a hurry.
Ryan, you dragged it into him, okay?
And we saw Nick Revolt at 3/4 time go out to Matthew Scarlett. He wasn't thanking him for naming him the best player in the competition. He was remonstrating with him for giving him 1 just before 3/4 time. What an interesting relationship they've had today. A compliment followed by that.
Holding his arm, Geelong.
So Enright's free.
Right to him, Nick. Thank you.
200th game for Corey Enright tonight. Short to Varco. One of 17 Cat players out there tonight who've played in at least 1 premiership. They've got a dozen, 12 that have played in the 2. Kelly didn't quite mark it. Mackie swings the handball forward. Back to Enright. Building as the game goes on. Otten's in a 1-on-1 against Dawson. Dawson stood up well. Corey's been very, very good. Hawkins down low. Gilbert got rid of Hawkins. A bit lucky not to have a free against him.
Free kick here, St Kilda very right. Being held.
Yes, he missed one, got the other one, got the next one.
So Ray is the beneficiary at centre-half back. Wide to Peak, the sub. So both the subs on. Milburn came on in the first quarter with Selwood's injury. Peak comes on for the injury of McWalter deep in the third. Here's Gilbert. Little cosy kick. Blake, Peak. Peak quickly on inside the 50. But Lonergan back. Short to Corey.
Be interesting to see the role of the sub. I think everyone would acknowledge that Peake probably has more run in his legs than Darren Milburn as a substitute.
Yeah,
so see how that pans out.
So Bartel.
Move it on. Play on. Play on.
Can play a big last quarter, Bartel, when things are tight. We've seen him a number of times. Enright, centre wing, good mark, Mooney.
Again in front.
It's suddenly becoming a bit easier for the Cats. Stokes and Jones. Well done again, Dawson. He's played well, Dawson. He's done a good job. I mean, he was in Coventry for 4 or 5 weeks, went back, got himself organised, owned up to a couple of things, and he's played a really good game tonight. Didn't play at all for 2 seasons. It's a good story.
Straight into the contest, Tom Hawkins. Advantage.
So the advantage to the Cats, and then Stokes goes to full forward, hooks it back, wanting Bartel. Bartel, clever! Brilliant! Unbelievable, actually. They're in front. Jimmy with a bit of magic.
Well, you got the right words there, Bruce. Incredible, and yeah, you needed more than incredible, and you got that. It was fantastic, wasn't the way that little left foot snap did the left-hand turn when it needed to.
It was actually a pretty clever kick coming in. I think it might have been Matthew Stokes, but but sometimes in a game like this where the score's as it is, 5-10 for 4-11, you just need that stroke of luck, that miraculous bit of play, and Jimmy's provided it.
Great one-on-one player, but even he, I don't think, could repeat that.
Oh, he'll claim him mentally. He'll claim it, no doubt about that. But when the game is close like that, sometimes that's what it takes, a bit of miraculous play.
Early contender for the goal of the season right there.
That terrific mark out in front that Menzel took in goal. I mean, really, low-scoring game, so it's not team goals, it's actually individual brilliance that's getting the goals.
First time all night, and that looks as, I think, something. Geelong find themselves in front. Hawkins under pressure, tries to give it across towards Johnson, scrambled out of there by Jones. In the opposite direction was Mackie. Touch ball. Goddard then a hot potato as a result. Bartel once more. All one-way traffic now. Kelly kicks inside the forward 50. Coming up is Ottens. Gets a hand pass away. Taken by Mooney. Hooks it back towards full forward. They need a contest. Didn't get one. Clark took the mark. Comes away. Del Santo. Runners to both sides, but Del Santo decides to hold up at centre half back. So much of the football tonight. Nick Del Santo. Nice kick too, measures it, finds Pete, started as the sub, introduced just before three-quarter time, and now McAvoy. McAvoy inside the forward 50 then. Whistle.
Advantage!
Advantage is played. It was going to be a Geelong free.
Short. Scarlett. And then a clever kick wide. Bartel, so Bartel off half-back, end going forward. Long bomb to Corey. Well played, Goddard. They started on one another. Goddard, kick to Del Santo. Dennis has talked about how prolific he's been tonight. Neat-looking kick. Milne held his ground against Enright, and then brilliant evasion by Milne, and then off one step. This is interesting. Revolt in a one-on-one. No free kick. Montagna can't quite. Lonergan's just had a really big victory. And now Varco goes to touch. Deliberate.
Been good tonight, Lonergan.
Yep. He's been stiff, Lonergan. I mean, in 07 and 09 he hardly played, and that were the premiership years. He's played a lot of footy in 08-10. He's missed out a bit, hasn't he?
Hasn't the game opened up? Suddenly space everywhere. Kick inside the forward 50. And McAvoy just stood his ground and plucked it. Unforgivable. There had to be a fist from behind.
Yes, I know it's a bit like a broken record, but the Ruckmans don't defend that well, and that's what Tom Hawkins. He was actually near McAvoy, but he just wasn't able to affect the spoil when he had to be there. Matter of fact, was he trying to mark from behind?
Often in a situation like that, when Revolt's the focus, he becomes the focus, and McAvoy stands up, stands strong, take the mark.
Well, Tom wasn't in the contest. I think he was in front roving and just cruising past. Oh, no! Oh, no! It's bounced through for a goal. Remarkable.
Yeah, very preventable goals like that. The long set shot that lands on the goal line. I think it was heading well right, and it was actually the fact that it probably came back 10 metres in the air was what completely confused everybody of where it was going.
It's been a bit of a strange old night.
Yeah. So it was heading a long way right, and then all of a sudden maybe it was a bit of wind got it, but it just...
Cardinal sin though.
It's been have no one on the goal line.
Got to have the goal line covered.
Gee, if this had been the first 5 minutes of the night, we would have been pumped. It's been a remarkable turnaround in this game.
Johnson being held. Yeah, Steve Johnson. Thanks, Sean.
Suddenly it's a frenetic match. It's end-to-end stuff.
One of the great things about our games, the games, if the scores are close, it's a ripping game.
So Hunt back to Milburn, and then Hunt tries a torpedo. Gilbert belted it away. Wojcinski's played forward a lot tonight, held up, and a ball up.
Let him up, guys, let him up.
So here's the deliberate Farko and Chris Scott.
Straight here.
He was... Lee, you would have seen Chris Scott a bit like that on the field over the years.
He can be angry, but as I said, off the field, he's a thinker.
Montagna. Lonergan again, and he has been good, hasn't he? Here they go, the Cats.
Josh Hunt alongside the centre circles, unloads. They've got 3 on 2 here. Arriving as Dawson, missed it. Lurking at the back is Mooney, and it runs out of bounds.
I must say, when that ball came off Barco's boot, I thought that was going to be called. Oh, he was lucky to get away with that, wasn't he, Dawson?
Yeah. Interesting watching the St Kilda players try and get back after that last free kick in the centre circles. They were labouring across half-back. Not the spring in their step. Ball to the wing. Mark is taken by Taylor. That was a terrific grab. It ricocheted across to Revolt, but Taylor has been resolute. That's got to be...
Wow. Pass to Stokes.
Gee, that was pretty close to 50. I think Nick was well aware of whose kick it was. There goes Taylor inside the forward 50. Loose ball at the back. Gilbert grabbed and taken down by Kelly. Slung. Ball jarred out of there and out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in.
You've got to say the players do look a bit fatigued, and when we're talking about the substitute role, it served its purpose. Both clubs have replaced an injured player and the game slowed down.
Maybe, just maybe, the lawmakers got it right. Worked last night too. Diving after it, Bartel.
I think more the point is most round ones, the last quarter they just look like they're gone. I mean, it takes players that they can play all the pre-season games they want, but really it's the home and away games. They need 1 or 2 of them before they really look like they can run them out strongly.
The voice of reason.
And remember, they've got 26 when they're playing those pre-season games, haven't they? So Kelly off one step, going. It was touched in the end. Luckily, I think, by Fisher. Scores a level. They can play a draw, the Saints.
Oh, not another draw.
Not again.
You're coming back next week anyway.
That's true.
And so are they. It's Richmond, isn't it? Richmond St Kilda.
They are. Is Tom allowed to do comedy?
Very poorly, Bruce.
Don't we all?
Bouncing ball, Otten sort of lumbered a bit after and then pats it over the line for a boundary throw-in. Oh, pick a winner, Lee. Go on. What about you, Tom?
I think Geelong are going marginally better.
Get that feeling they're coming home a bit the better.
What about those percentages? 233 to 42, and they're going to win. There's Baker. Across half-back, smothered off the boot, taken by Wojcinski. His run was good early, and he's kept going. Another smother. Around the corner off the boot of Kelly, and across the line it goes.
One of the thing that first drops off with tiredness, with fatigue, is chasing pressure, and maybe St Kilda have just dropped off a fraction, so Geelong are using their skills better without that pressure.
Well, if you look inside Geelong's forward 50 at the moment, it's man on man in 5 positions.
In fact, all over the field, all we see is pairs of players.
That's right. They're tuck it out, the Saints, but they're brave, we know that. It's just that it's not going to be their normal victory. In fact, they win it. That's a free kick, yes, out on the full. So the Saints to get the football, and Graham will take it.
So Graham, 50-50. Clark, and now Peake. Peake kicks towards Goddard. Corey, this will be a good contest. Corey gets back. Gamble tries to hold on to him. Which way will the umpire see it?
No legitimate attempt. No legitimate attempt.
I think he's probably right. I think he just took the tackle in the hope that it would be a ball up.
He's done that twice tonight, hasn't he? Got away with the first one. So Gamble kicks to full forward. Revolt goes to ground. Lonergan over the top. Armitage can't get it out. Hawkins out wide. Milburn. Good give to Mackie. Quickly onto the boot. Gwilt should mark. He does. Plays on. Fisher has to arch the back. Kick in a hurry. It was a good one. Did well. Fisher gets to Blake.
Blake looks towards the middle, and Graham now. He's a long kick. Thought about it.
There's no movement in the forward 50 for St Kilda.
Graham Drives it across the ground. Will it get to Dempster? Well, it does as two Geelong players arrive. Well done by Dempster, though, falling to the ground. Peak became discombobulated, and the ball's out of bounds. We'll have a throw-in. Well, there you go. He tried to dance past an opponent and/or just take the tackle. In the end, choreography killed the cat. Or in that case, choreography. It goes down towards full forward. The mark is taken by Lonergan. Lonergan looks to the outer side. Whoops. Now decides to come up the middle. Beautiful. Hunt's got it. Lays it off. Well played by Wojcinski to Hunt. Now Wojcinski with genuine speed. Runs away from Baker. What a beautiful kick into the path of Mooney. Mooney back over the shoulder. Barco got a very unkind bounce. The ball went away from him. Grand tackle by Barco. Almost holding it. Desperately got boot the ball. Knocked towards the boundary line by Jones. It's still in. Mooney keeps it alive. Goes to Milburn. Milburn gives it back to Menzel. Opportunity for Barco. Still in play. Mooney runs the boundary line and passes across to Milburn with the outside of the boot. That's an anticlimax. It's out of bounds on the full.
Some tired players running around there. Geez, it was clever play by Mooney to almost get the ball in the path of Varco.
Well, it just didn't quite bounce back to him, did it?
Great call, Den. It just couldn't quite get that goal in the end for you.
Harry Taylor, mark.
So Taylor. Now Taylor kicks to full forward. Gilbert in a 1-1 with Guthrie. Bartel getting back. Out of bounds.
Oh, this is good.
Glad you're excited, Den.
I am. I've come to life.
The low scores don't matter now, do they? All it's a question of the contest and the where it's going.
Guthrie. Rhythm of Cats, young blood. I mean, Duncan took a fantastic mark, kicked a couple. Menzel hasn't done a lot. Guthrie's been pretty good, I reckon. Taylor Hunt's been okay. Those blokes that haven't played 10 games, I reckon they've done pretty well for the Cats tonight. Unfortunately, there's a bit of an imbalance when you look at their team. There's a lot of very great experienced players.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot at 23, 24, 22. And they've got that bit of youth as well, so it's just a bit of a trick.
Selwood's the real link between those two age
Brackets, yeah.
Hayes playing his 240th game tonight. That's the same number as the famous Spud played, Frawley. So he joins another St Kilda great on 240. So moving up the list is Lenny.
What a player.
Just getting a bit of drizzle here, I reckon, with the rain.
This game's got everything. Blake, left half back, told to play on.
There's not much movement.
No. High ball towards the wing. In front, Enright, hand on the shoulder. Well, Corey Enright close. Enright back inside the 50. Just get the feeling they're running it out better here, Geelong. Dawson, Wilt, in two minds. Varco pursues. Good shepherd from Clark. Varco went a fair way. And that's going to be a relayed free kick down the ground, apparently. I thought it affected the kick. It's gone out on the full. Okay. Saints ball. Milburn gets that innocent look on his face, but we've seen that before. It stands for naught.
So Gilbert's kick, and it's a good one to Montagna. Montagna actually a moment ago was scuttling off when Gilbert got the ball, wanting him to kick over the top. Gamble, well, he had to be stronger than that. One hand not good enough. Scarlett, Taylor Hunt. Hunt loads up to full forward. Bartel lurking. Dawson's done very well. Actually, Dawson and Lonergan have been really good in the back ends tonight for the opposing sides. Good kick by Gwilt. Now to Goddard. Goddard to Peak.
Milne over the top if you can get there. Too far.
Yeah, they covered well upfield.
So Milne now to do the roving. But they never got a crack at it. Scarlett kicked Revolt out.
Played it perfectly, Matt Scarlett. Just feign going for the mark. Just blocked the run of Nick Revolt. Harry Taylor takes an easy, uncontested mark.
Taylor back to Enright. Interchange to the moment. Geelong 100, St Kilda 87. So Enright, game number 200. What a player he's been. In short. The mark is taken by Taylor. The longer it's gone, the better he's got. Hunt to Kelly. Kelly's on the wing. Little chip towards half forward. Varco looking to turn the defender. He was a bit stiff there, Varco. Still he's going. There's a man on over the top. Can he get the ball to Mooney? Mooney comes charging up. Clatters into a couple of defenders. Dawson, who's done very well back there, gives it to Jones. Measures the hand pass. Baker, high ball, all Geelong. Stokes takes the mark midway between the lines, centre wing and half forward. Up ahead again this time. The Saints have 2 men deep. So they'll work it around the perimeter. Wojcinski thought about going, and Revolt played it very cannily.
They're worse off after that kick.
Yes.
Because all it is, St Kilda now get more set. The ball eventually has to go in.
And in it goes, and Ottens does well. Shielded the footy, kept that big backside out and kept Clark away.
Another of these 50-metre shots.
Not sure if the leg's as strong as it used to be, but he has been a great kick over the years.
Yeah, certainly in the height of his career, I would have backed him from here. Had some knee troubles, which relates to leg strength issues.
He's only played 37 of the last 75 games the Cats have played. It's been important that they keep him fit this year. He's hooked it. It won't be a score, or will it? It will. McAvoy.
Geez, that's a brave spoil.
I'll say.
Guthrie was lurking. So Geelong in front with that rush behind. And they haven't been in front too often tonight. Fleetingly, in fact.
What would you say, Tom? Position Z, where he punched it to. On the other side, Montagna. Oh, here's a chance. Then it breaks open. Graham running down towards the attacking 50. Taylor in pursuit.
How we can play
Nobody
this.
inside the forward 50. Going in rather carelessly out there. Wojcinski, no free kick. On top of the football, Wojcinski, and the umpire calls for a ball up. Well, had they won that football, had Graham got the footy, there was nobody on for St Kilda inside the forward 50.
Played that well, Taylor, just to make sure he couldn't get back inside. Just kept him boundary.
Best result there would have been out of bounds for the Saints. Right on the 50, Wojcinski. In trouble, in right, down he went. Gathered by Kelly. Kelly digs it out of there. Milburn under pressure towards the wing. And Bartel diving forward takes the mark. The man who got them going, kick-starting them in this term with that wonderful goal.
He's good in a crisis, Jimmy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Seen him play some magnificent last quarters against the flow. Kicks the ball down the line. Guthrie. Back to Stokes. They've been in front for 5 minutes tonight, Geelong. St Kilda for 95.
Slip low, Matty, slip low.
Still plenty of time here, but I say plenty of time. We've had 10 goals in the match, so, and 3 of those came in 4 minutes, so they've been hard to get. You'd reckon, particularly from Geelong's point of view, next goal wins. Gilbert's kicks a poor one, and Bartel again rising to the occasion, reading it so well. And then good looking kick off the boot, but he asks a lot of Corey. Back to Dawson, back to Goddard.
Kicks to midfield. Taken by Armitage alongside the centre circles. Wants something from his teammates, anything. Gives it across to Clark, 75 metres out. This will be a dangerous kick. Long towards the kick-off line. There's going to be a free kick. It'll go to Taylor, I think. Montagna's kicked the goal. And that is reminiscent of last year's final in reverse. You might remember Cameron Lynn kicking that goal in the dying seconds, and it came back for a push in the back on Gwilt. This time, Montagna got in the back of a Geelong defender, and Taylor got the free inside the centre square, ball up.
It's an interesting decision, isn't it? Because Montagna holds his ground a bit, and the defender runs into him.
Well, there's some tension in the coach's box. Chris for the first time at senior level.
Goddard and Varco. Varco scooped it to Mackie, and then McAvoy revolt front spot. Well played, Taylor building it back. Goddard, Del Santo, Hayes. He's done this before. Bang! He's a beauty, Lenny is. Right. Arched his back and banged to home.
That goal partly became from the decision. Taylor got the free kick, but then he tried to sort of play the ball on, and the pressured kick out of the back 50 went back towards the centre corridor, which was not where Geelong wanted to direct it. From that part of the ground, It's amazing some players can just will themselves to the footy, and Lenny Hayes is most definitely one of them.
It was a good give by Dal Santo and a great finish. He's a lot of people's favourite player, isn't he?
Yeah, he just does everything. Like a Simon Black. They're not spectacular, they're just fantastic players.
Well, the Saints have been forced to come out of their shell and they've responded magnificently, but Bartel gives it to Kelly. Geelong go towards half forward, coming up to meet the ball, Guthrie. Wilt's got him. Guthrie needs to try. Oh, son. Have to make an attempt, exactly.
Got to wiggle. You got to look like you're trying to wiggle your way out of the tackle. As soon as you're passive,
yes,
the umpire says, "Ah, no, you're just taking the tackle."
It's like life itself, Lee.
That's it.
He's the only player out there tonight playing his first game of AFL footy. So it's a quick learning curve. Saints by 5 points. Cameron Ling will play tomorrow. I think at the moment Paul Chapman might be playing with him.
Yes, that's the expectation. We saw Cameron Ling pre-game and he said that.
McAvoy wins the tap. Peak. Kelly hard at him. Corey trying hard.
Tell you what this is now. This is forward footy. Everybody forward of the footy has to be ready for the quick kick out. So the forwards of both sides, they can't be expecting easy ball. There's just a quick kick out of this congestion. That's how it's going to get cleared.
And no spare defenders, Lee, if I'm counting correctly.
Yep.
Out of the congestion, Hawkins. Bartel takes on a tackler. Kicks down towards the attacking 50. Coming up and controlling it nicely, Menzel in the grasp. Stokes, Kelly. Well done by, who was that, Hunt? Hunt against the line. Floats one inside the forward 50. Gilbert to an exposed area. He dared and won. It came to Clark. Kicks to midfield and Armitage. Breaking hard towards the outer side is Goddard, but Armitage, with his side leading by 5 points, decides to settle. We're down to 3 minutes, well, almost. And here's Clark, who cleared the last line of defence moments ago, pushing up and making himself available at right half back. Saints by 5. High ball towards the wing. Revolt!
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Oh, marvellous.
Keep going to the well, you eventually get a few. That's what he's been doing tonight. Hasn't been able to grab a lot. Keeps getting there to have a go.
So timely, wasn't it? What a magnificent effort. Do you reckon Clark's been good tonight? I mean, he's much maligned.
Solid down back.
Now Gwilt. So 2.5 minutes here. They'll have a very good idea of how long to go. It's a dangerous thing to try and hang on to it for that long. Kick wide. Armitage ticks some seconds off the clock. Saints have led for almost all night. They've had a cosy lead for a lot of it in a low-scoring night. Revolt again. Oh. Well, he'd taken, I think, 4 marks prior to the last 2 in the match. He's taken a couple of absolutely crucial marks in the last minute. And then pops it to about 40 metres. Goddard got underneath. Mackie marks. Chance now for the Cats.
That's a question if they got a spread, got enough energy to spread.
Mackie under pressure, and the kick reflected that. Straight to Gilbert. So Gilbert, about 75 metres out, comes in, sets it up. They'll compete about 20 metres out. Scarlett got his fingertips to it, gets it back. Nicely worked there initially with Taylor. They're under pressure. Kelly kept his head, goes short to half-back. Corey's away. Clock is down to 1:18. Joel Corey kicked into the oncoming Gilbert. That could be match-defining. Down goes Dempster. Umpire will play holding the ball. Free kick is going to Geelong. Plays on immediately. There's the man on the ground. Johnson gave it to Corey. Corey's had a bumper second half. Kicks it inside the forward 50.
Peak with those fresh legs. Dempster wide. Dangerous kick comes off Blake. And Blake measures the kick again, dangerous, and turns it over. One last chance, you'd think, for the Cats. Enright, down the middle. Kelly, Mackie. Now Taylor Hunt, wider. Duncan's been important. Kicked a couple. Measures a kick to the pocket. Bartel outnumbered. Gets rid of a couple. Bouncing ball. Mooney. Still Mooney. Milburn, can you believe it? The oldest player out there. The sub probably wins it for him.
The sub.
The super sub.
This has got everything. What a great second half.
And this has sort of been, they talk about fatigue in footy, and that's what really, a couple of games I've seen this round one, they always get tired in the second half, but you can just see every player on the ground is nearly exhausted. That just, the 2-on-1 contest to make sure that St Kilda didn't get it, that set up the chance.
Bartel.
Great play by Bartel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 19 seconds to go. Geelong, you'd think, would push players back to try and make a certainty of it. They have. So they got 3 extra in defence. Let's see what happens at the centre bounce here.
No surprise there then. 19 seconds to go. That says it all. A show of emotion from Chris Scott. Hayes, meantime, tries to dig it out of the middle. Kelly needs to be careful. Did well enough. Duncan goes to half forward, and that might be it. Leading in the race out there, Menzel. Wonderful pickup. The boy from Central still going. Hand passes it back, but they've done enough. They've done enough. They've come from the clouds to win Geelong. Chris Scott wins at his first attempt. And what a remarkable second half.
It's a long season and not much is lost, I guess, from a Saints point of view, but God, it was good, wasn't it?
Well, it was. I mean, it was a game that was so humdrum for a half because it was so low scoring, but as soon as it got to the second half and the scoreboard was tight, then the contest was really on.
Lee, let's go down to Tom Harley, who's down there with the Cats.
Thanks, Bruce. I'm here with the 200-game play, Corey Enright. What a great way to celebrate the milestone.
Yeah, it's awesome. Obviously, to start the year with a win like that, it's just fantastic for our footy club.
And what about the super sub, Darren Milburn, the match winner?
Just snuck on down there in the goal square and didn't know if he was going to make the distance, but he slotted it. It was nice.
Great work, Boris. Enjoy the win, mate.
Thanks, Tom.
Bearing in mind he was 5 metres out. That's a subtle dig.
And Bartel and Mooney had worked pretty hard. Look at Stevie Jones. Chris Scott's emotion is just overflowing, isn't it?
Well, there's nothing like the close games to stir the emotions, either with the disappointment for St Kilda. It's round one, yes, but just they blew the game.
Gee, Lee, Jimmy Bartel put on a magnificent last quarter. He's with Tom Harley.
Jimmy, great goal. Fair to say that that's a pretty big win for the Cats tonight.
Yeah, I think it was huge because learning a new game plan, but showing the coach that we wanted to stick to it and play it for 4 quarters. It's pretty easy to drift away with it, but always have total faith in what Scotty's put for us.
And what have been some of the tinkering things that Chris has done with the Cats this year?
I think it's pretty obvious our defence wasn't too great towards the second half of last year, and it's been a big focus without going away from the typical Geelong attack.
Tell us about the importance of Corey Enright. 200 games tonight. Great mates with Darren Milburn who kicked the goal. A few words about Boris.
Boris is an absolute champion. I think everyone said he's so underrated, but I think competition last 3 years realised how special he is, and like you take a guy like Enright out of your side and it's a massive hole, so we need him every week to keep performing.
Well done tonight, Jimmy. Well played and good luck this year.
It's great stuff, Lee. Just a moment about Chris Scott. He played in a couple of premierships for you.
Yeah. Well, he's a wonderful competitor. As I said, for pre-game, he was just such almost a wild on-field play. He was so aggressive. I mean, you see the emotion that football holds. I mean, he's trying to hold it together, but just fantastic. First game as coach to win a game like that.
Great stuff. Enright being honoured. Wonderful player. Oh, what a turn-up. What a game it turned out to be. A tale of two halves. Geelong winning Friday night footy against the Saints. The rivalry grows. It was 48-47.